tell us a witness in the Amber Guyger murder trial was actually gunned down at an apartment complex in Dallas. Guyger, of course, is the former Dallas police officer who shot and killed Botham Jean as he was watching TV in his own apartment. Joshua Brown, the man you see there in the green shirt, he lived across the hall from Jean. He was a key witness in Guyger's conviction. Well, investigators say the 27-year-old Brown was found last night in a parking lot, shot several times. Witnesses reported hearing multiple gunshots and seeing a silver four-door sedan leaving the area. So far, no arrests have been made.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now, I hope you all are enjoying your weekend, having a very great morning so far due to certain bad news that may come out. And I know we hear bad news every day, but it's very sad and more heartbreaking when you have someone who's trying to stand up and do the right thing, like Spike Lee said. Stand up for the right cause and also tell the truth. And you know, ever since we was young, we was taught by our parents, those of us who have good parents, to do what? To tell the truth. Whereas this case out of Dallas, Texas, which all came to a closure, but it seemed like they're trying to open old wounds now. And you would think that, you know, the case with the Amber Guyger situation, the ex-cop in Dallas who went allegedly to the wrong apartment, so she say, and killed a man in his own apartment, Mr. Botham Jean. Killed him in his apartment, and it was said that she thought it was her apartment and also that the door was ajar. But a lot of people point out the fact that Botham Jean had a red doormat, and the fact that if you can't notice that the doormat is right there and it's not your doormat, then also when you open a door, you don't notice your furniture is out of place, it's not your furniture, you will be led to believe what? That it's not your apartment. So evidently somebody was telling a lie, like we all heard. Now I remember when this story first came out last year, they were saying there was more than one witness. It was a couple witnesses that heard the actual thing that was going on, because I even said something about it last year, where they just heard some people arguing, and then all of a sudden you heard gunshots, which is the same thing when we had Mr. Joshua Brown, and may he rest in peace. This young man, I think is 28, was 28 years old, and he pretty much took the stand in a prosecution case and told the truth. It said he never heard Amber Guyger shout out any command saying that she was a police notifying herself or anything like that. Basically heard an argument, then you heard gunshots. The same thing the other witness said, but I can't even find that video no more or whatnot. But this young man was killed around, I think around 10:35 Friday night, if I'm not mistaken, outside his own apartment, where the same place Botham Jean had got killed. The apartment go by the name of Southside Flats in Dallas. And I don't understand, number one, really, why Mr. Joshua did not go ahead and move. Because I would have moved, number one, because if a police could kill somebody there, and it's a whole huge speculation, you don't have a chance when there's somebody else involved. So I would have been moved. But the fact that you would think that even after this took place, that this apartment complex would have camera surveillance and everything set up. And also, what was Mr. Joshua Brown doing out there around 10:35 p.m.? And also, who are the suspects in the car that shot him? And then the number one thing that really, well, not the number one thing, it's a lot of number one thing, but the main thing that really surprised me, well, we had the judge and stuff. Not the judge, excuse me, not Miss Tammy Kip, even though they always in there eating a lot of butter biscuits. But anyway, we had the governor pretty much saying that we must end a call to gun violence. No, that's just like trying to end a call to the car violence, because people run over people with cars. We see videos all on WorldStar, Twitter, Facebook, and whatnot, YouTube. Some of them till they catch them on YouTube. And you see people getting ran over a car. So it's not necessarily the car that is dangerous, because anything can be dangerous. A tablespoon of water can drown you. That's dangerous. So we're going to ban water because people can drown from water? No. You have careless people. You have evil people with ill intent behind these cars, behind these guns also. So it's not the guns that necessarily kill people. It's stupid-ass people with no sense who kill people. But I'm not going to tarry too long, and I'm going to divulge more as the story goes. And also, before I even start the story, I want to make sure I say this right here. By no way are my intentions are to make anybody feel a certain type of way, whether it's racism or whatnot, because I am not racist, as you can see. I mean, it wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if the person was a white person. I wouldn't care if the person was any other color person. But the point is, I just live by this, and I tell you all that. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So if Botham Jean happened to have been a Caucasian man, I would still be going just as hard. And if Mr. Joshua Brown, the witness who just been deceased, was any other color, I will still be saying the same thing for him. So I'm not one of these people to promote racism because it seems like that's the underlying thing. But also, it also seems like we're not even safe, you know, in our own apartments. That's the main thing also, because how can you be in your own apartment eating ice cream on the couch or whatever you're doing, but it don't matter if you was on the floor laying down your own apartment. That's your own apartment, your own house. That's what we call our sanctuary. If you're not safe at your own house, where else can you be safe at? So for somebody to enter your home and there's a whole hoopla, and then a man get up there, Mr. Joshua Brown, tells what we believe to be the truth, because I believe it's the truth, because why else would he say it? And he said it the night it happened. He was out there saying it, and the other person, I don't even know what happened to the other person, the other witness. It was 2 witnesses, I think. But anyway, so he did what he thought was the right thing, and it cost him his life. And for that, we do owe this man much respect. You see what I'm saying? Because we tell people to tell the truth, and then when they come forward and tell the truth, this is what happened to them. But don't let people put this in your head talking about, well, we need to end gun violence. Yes, we need to end all kind of violence, but it's not the guns that killing these people. It's the evil people, because if those evil people would have had a knife or anything else or a hatchet, they would have still used that same weapon. So for people to point the picture and say it's guns, we need to be aware of that. But anyway, I'm going to read a snippet from this story, and I'm going to give my opinion. Surely, as we go. Bodum John neighbor, key witness in Amber Guyger trial, fatally shot outside his apartment, police say. My main thing is this right here. And like I said, no way I'm trying to point the finger at the deceased, Mr. Joshua or Bodum, but I'm talking about Mr. Joshua right now. I would have been moved my ass about them apartment, because I'm like, well, you would think also, we got to question the apartments too, Southside Flats. Why wasn't there any cameras put up? You would think that if a cop was able to go to a different so-called apartment on a whole nother floor, because she stayed a floor below Bodum John, if I'm not mistaken, that you would have all kinds of signs up to prevent what? This from happening again. And also you would have cameras up everywhere. And they had camera because just like the night Amber Guyger was standing out there in a foyer area outside of Mr. Bodum John apartment, where they said she was texting her boyfriend or sexting him or whatever, trying to get some wood from him. It shows a picture, as you can see right there, of her out there. So why isn't this whole area pretty much under constant surveillance due to what's been happening? Now, Joshua Brown, and may he rest in peace. And I send my condolences out, number one, to him and also to his family. And best believe, whoever his mom and dad is, you raised a good young man. You raised a good man, because this man did the right thing. And for that, I must salute him. We all should salute him. But anyway, Joshua Brown, a key witness in the trial of Amber Guyger, and the Dallas police officer found guilty of shooting Bodum John, was fatally shot Friday outside of an apartment complex, investigators said. Now, I think this trial wrapped up around, what, Wednesday evening or Tuesday evening, and this man already dead Friday night. I mean, damn, that's faster than UPX and FedEx put together. So you mean to tell me that this man, Mr. Joshua Brown, stayed in this apartment complex in Dallas, Southside Flats, for all that time, nothing ever happened to him, even after Mr. Bodum John was killed? Nothing happened to him, but the moment he go to trial, he testified, it become international news, because this is just not in Texas. This is just not in America. This is global. Everybody's talking about this story, because everybody wondering how in the hell, especially here in Texas, and we supposed to stand for something in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Not saying we better than nobody else, because we're not. But, you know, certain things with the law, we supposed to be able to see what? Straight through it. But you would seem to believe that due to the fact that people cannot get their story straight, the law is being very misconstrued. But anyway, this is a huge story globally. Brown, 28 years old, too young to lose his life like that. And it don't matter if you were 68, 78. You don't deserve to die like that. I mean, you don't have no right to take nobody's life. It's not like this guy was selling drugs, robbing and raping people and all this other stuff, killing children. No, this man was basically doing the right thing like we was always taught. He seen something. He spoke out. He winds up dead. Brown, 28, who lived across the hall from Jean, was shot around 10:30 p.m. outside of the Southside Flats apartment. Now, if you just got through testifying against somebody, not saying you got to live like a hermit crab in, you know what I'm saying, in hiding or like incognito, but why would he be out there in a foyer area, you know, out there on the ground in front of the apartment complex around 10:30? Now, true, you could do what you want to do. Maybe he was coming from somewhere, going somewhere, but it seemed like to me he was led out there by somebody. You see what I'm saying? The same way Mr. Bodum John was led, whether he opened the door or not, because I don't understand how can you walk in somebody's apartment, use a key, and the key worked, or the first story, the door was ajar, or they was outside arguing. So which one it is? You see what I'm saying? So evidently somebody is telling a damn lie. Now, he bravely came forward to testify when others wouldn't. Maybe that's what the second person was, because I remember when the story first broke last year around September, the Bold of John and Amber Guyger case. They was pretty much saying that it was witnesses, more than one witness, that heard this commotion. It was also a woman. I don't know what happened to the woman. I don't know if she's dead or alive, or she moved away, or just decided to keep quiet. And it seemed like, I don't want to tell people to keep quiet, because that'd be the wrong thing to put out there. But all I'm going to say is this, because I don't want you to do something and you get killed, and then have people looking at people like me saying, well, y'all tell them to stand up, and then they stand up, they get killed. Well, that's just a chance that we take in this life. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the way it goes. It's just a constant battle between good and evil. And that's just the best way I can paint the picture. Now, he bravely came forward to testify when others wouldn't. Dallas County Prosecutor Jason Hermes told the Dallas Morning News, if we had more people like him, we would have a better world. And that's the true thing. But guess what? If we had good, better surveillance and better cops and protection, why wasn't this man protected for at least 6 months or a while? But it don't matter, because sometimes these people wait 5-10 years to come and get you. I mean, if they gonna get you, they gonna get you. That's just the way it go. Make sure you're straight with God. I'm not trying to scare nobody. You see what I'm saying? But everybody is just not small fish like you or me would. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people are connected to other people. You feel me? But anyway, witnesses told investigators they heard shots, then a civil sedan sped out of the parking lot. A suspect description is not available. So you mean to tell me, even after all this chaos that took place over here in this apartment complex in Dallas, you would think that this said apartment would do what? The main thing is important. Put up better surveillance cameras. You ought to have 4K, 8K, and also 12K picture quality, video resolution. So it's no excuse to why this whole area was under constant surveillance. And also, due to the fact of this being a high-profile case, why wasn't Mr. Joshua Brown protected by somebody for at least a month or two? I mean, golly, it's not like Amber Guyger got what she deserved to get, which was a life sentence, an eye for an eye. I don't care about all that crying. And like I said, this is not about forgiveness. And yes, I do practice forgiving. I'm not telling nobody not to forgive nobody. Even a brother, Brant Jean, who went over there and hugged Amber for like 1 minute like they was going to knock boots when she got out of prison. I'm not telling him that he was wrong for hugging her or forgiving her, whatever. You can do what you want to do, but all I'm saying that it seemed like a soap opera, the fact that the way the whole story played out. So it's not like she got 50 years, which she deserved every day if she did get it. But the fact she got 10 measly years, probably do 5 or 6 years at the most, if they don't hurry up and appeal it. And then the witness wind up dead over that. When you have people who got convicted and got sentenced to life, ain't nothing happened to those people. Wow. Now, Brown testified about what he heard September the 6th, that night Jean was killed. He said he met Jean for the first time earlier today. He was killed. What a coincidence. So it was meant for you to meet that man, just like God put people in your past for a certain reason. I done met a lot of people for one time, and all of a sudden something happened to them while I see them on the news. I'll be like, wow, I just be shocked. That's just the way my life goes. It's just weird like that. You meet somebody, all of a sudden you see them on the news. Now, Brown said the night it sounded like two people meeting by surprise. Amber Guyger, Bold Jean. This was Brown said. He stayed right across the hallway from Jean. Now, I stayed in an apartment, even though I ain't stayed in an apartment in years. But in an apartment, you can hear people what? Upstairs, even when they having sex. You can hear them downstairs. You can hear them on the side of you and on the other side of you. You hear people. I mean, that's just the way apartments are made. So you're going to hear people talk. You can hear them do every damn thing. But anyway, he said that he met Brown. And also, the night that he heard the two people meeting, it sounded like it was like a surprise meeting. Now, he said, this Joshua Brown, he could not hear what was said, but that both were talking at the same time. And then he heard gunshots. So evidently, they was arguing. Because somebody was saying, basically, she was saying, let me in. Bold Jean didn't want to let Amber Guyger in. Now, this is what's all been said, not me speculating, because I don't speculate. I don't have to clickbait a story. I'll just give you what? Facts. That's it. Now, anyway, so that would be kind of led to be true. Also, the fact that they was arguing, she's at the door, all of a sudden he comes to the door, he winds up dead. Because how could you just walk in somebody's house and you see your door ajar? Wouldn't you automatically call the police if you was coming to your apartment and you see the door ajar? I know I would. I wouldn't just go into no apartment where the door was already cracked. So for her to say she seen the door cracked, walked in there and seen what she thought was a burglar and felt threatened when she was the one with the gun and the guy was sitting on the couch eating ice cream or whatever, and you kill that man, does that sound very crazy to you? I mean, let's just be for real. Like, who is the burglar? It's not Bodum John. It's his apartment. If anybody was a burglar, it was Amber Guyger. If anybody was a threat, it was who? Not the man eating ice cream. It was the person with the gun, bro, that went into the wrong apartment. Now, Guyger was convicted Tuesday of murder. Tuesday. She was sentenced Wednesday to 10 years in prison. So Wednesday to the 10 years in prison, 48 hours later, like the movie with Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, 48 hours later, this guy, Joshua Brown, winds up dead. Let's go and close it up. Now, a former athlete turned entrepreneur, Brown lived in constant fear that he could be the next victim of gun violence, out of state sanction or otherwise. And we both know what that means. This says his attorney, Lee Merritt, an attorney who represented the Jean family, wrote on social media. Brown deserved the same justice he sought to ensure the Jean family. And I want to see if the Jean family going to go just as hard for the Brown family, just like Joshua Brown stood up there. And I'm sure that he was putting his life on the line, because one thing it's certain things when you testify, just like you testify against people that's a known hitman, drug dealers, people that have some kind of power. But it's another thing when you testify against what? The state, the police department. That's when it's totally something different. And you can look and tell that this man was pretty much a very good, decent man. You feel what I'm saying? No matter how we may feel about people. But if it was me that got killed, or you, for instance, put yourself in the other person's shoes. When you want somebody who witnessed the truth to tell the truth, at least your family can get closure. At least you can get some kind of closure, because guess what? Dead man and dead women don't tell no tales. So you can't sit up here and say, well, I wouldn't want nobody to say nothing. I'm sure if you would lay on the ground and you were bleeding out, your blood coming out your body, you about to die, and somebody stood right there seeing what happened, you at least want them to do that much for you. Now let's go and close it up. Now this the thing that really just tripped me out right here, and we got to be aware when people throw this out there. But we have presidential candidate and former Texas Congressman Beto O'Rourke expressed condolences to Brown's family, which is a good thing if you expressing condolences, but it's the way you do things. It's just like you could tell somebody, I'm sorry, but then you could tell somebody, I'm sorry. Which one are you going to be more willing to take? The first one, because it sounds like it's sincere, other than somebody just telling you some bullshit, just like some of these people do. Now, for instance, he called for an end to gun violence. Notice they always calling for an end to gun violence. And then for the shooter to be found. Now, it's good the shooter to be found, but why is there a shooter? You know what I'm saying? This guy was testifying against what? A police officer. Now, Brown's death, like Bodum's, was a tragedy. Only possible because we have failed to end this epidemic. This is what he said, of gun violence. But it's kind of strange that you say that we have failed to end this epidemic of gun violence when the same cop that the state of Texas hired, the city of Dallas hired, was the same cop that used that same gun and committed violence with that gun. So what are you saying? But then he said, sending love to his family. O'Rourke said on social media, there will never be justice. So what you mean there will never be justice? So are you saying we will never find the people who killed Mr. Joshua Brown? Because why use that word, there will never be justice? That's the wrong word to use. But you can say what you want to say in this country. But there must be an investigation to find the truth. So there won't be justice. So nobody will not be brought to justice. But you also say there must be an investigation to find the truth and hold his murderer accountable. But anyway, let me know what you all think about this. And like I'm saying, I'm not trying to say don't forgive nobody. All I'm saying is try not to be racist if you can. You see what I'm saying? Try not to be racist. Make sure that whatever you do in your judgment or whatnot, you're balanced. Everything in life requires balance. If you tip too much over here, guess what? Something gonna fall. If you tip too much this way, something gonna fall. Be balanced. Be neutral. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, we must see past the cloud of smoke, these smoke screens that these people are painting on us, saying that we must end the stop to gun violence when America was built on gun violence. You don't know what I'm saying? America was built on gun violence. Do your history. So what are they really saying? But the fact that this man would testify Tuesday, Amber Guyger sentenced Wednesday, he's dead Friday. That's a message right there. But anyway, let me know what you all think. And also, I'm not trying to discourage no one for speaking out. That's what we tell people to do. But it's very heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching when you tell people to speak out and they wind up dead. That's the main thing right there. Let me know what you think. And to the Brown family, I send my condolences. And also to the Jean family, I send my condolences. Let me know what you think. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share this video with your family and friends. And cherish each and every day, because you never know when it's your last. And sometimes you don't have to do a damn thing wrong in life, but stand up and tell the truth, and people will still kill you. Y'all take care. I'm out.